Hi, Nightingale Heroes. Jan Strong, Respiratory Therapist here. And we're going to talk a little bit about vaping. And it's only a few minutes, but it's really important because so many people have started vaping. There's a whole new generation of people vaping. And so we wanted to give you guys some information on it. And information is still rolling in because clinical research trials take a long time. But more and more information is coming in. So we wanted to do a few minutes today just to kind of catch you guys up. So originally vapes were marketed as a smoking cessation tool. And in theory, if people who smoked cigarettes switched temporarily to vaping as a way of stepping down on addictive nicotine amounts or that habit of those cigarettes, then they would have had genuine merit. This is why it was kind of temporarily embraced by the medical community who really wanted more people to lay those cigarettes down. Unfortunately, tobacco companies decided to take these completely unregulated products and use them to get teens addicted to nicotine and people even more addicted. The official term for a vape is electronic nicotine delivery system, or ENDS. And they are battery-operated devices containing a heating element inside that heats the e-liquids into an aerosol. It's actually not a vapor. It's an aerosol that can be inhaled into the lungs. On the surface, this seems less dangerous than combustible cigarettes with all that smoke in the air and the carcinogens and irritants that are created just by that smoke. So unfortunately, the FDA didn't put any regulations on these vapes or their e-liquids when they set these tobacco companies loose on putting them out there. The aerosols in many of these vape liquids contain varying amounts of nicotine, sometimes much higher than traditional cigarettes. Like they could test two vapes together and one will have a big bunch of nicotine in it and another will have a different amount. So they also have dangerous chemicals that are in there that have been proven to be carcinogens all on their own. There's even a new lung disease diagnosis created just for vape injuries called EVALI, which stands for e-cigarette or vaping use associated lung injury. Many of the dangerous additives and flavors in those vape liquids that anyone can make and just sell anywhere because they aren't regulated by the FDA, they cause some serious, immediate, and in some cases permanent lung damage or even fatalities. So the e-cigarette king, Juul, that you all heard about, was a $38 billion with a B, dollar company owned by Altria. Altria used to be called the Philip Morris Tobacco Company in the old days. They had to pay over $1 billion in fines in the last year or so for deceptive marketing practices aimed towards getting adolescents addicted to nicotine. For example, they were offering all those flavors like cotton candy and watermelon, and they had crazy amounts of nicotine in these. These teens may be new lifelong customers, right? They were getting addicted really fast. So after that big lawsuit, Altria abandoned its stake in Juul and they invested $275 billion in a company called Enjoy, which will now market its vape pens in a different way. So tobacco has always been a really big business, and these companies will just keep reinventing themselves to sell their addictive products. There are even some e-cigarettes that are marketed as tobacco-free nicotine, and that's just another way to skirt new regulations that are finally coming out on tobacco products. And it causes confusion with consumers because that name implies a lower risk. It's actually just a fake nicotine made in a lab, and it's still highly addictive. It makes people think they are making a better choice when they are just switching addictive devices. So the bottom line here, heroes, true clinical research takes many, many years. The reports just keep coming in about the dangers of vaping. Our lungs are not meant to inhale flavors, additives, or nicotine in any way. And by the way, the same applies to that smokeless tobacco, those pouches. snooze, Zen, chewing tobacco. That is nicotine and still inherent with dangers for your body that nicotine has. And you will still have to withdraw from that if you start. So that's our little spiel on vaping today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And we look forward to always teaching you more here at Nightingale. Thanks for joining me.